Welcome back. It's been quite a tumultuous run-up to Matric exams for many pupils in KwaZulu-Natal. They were displaced during the heavy floods, leaving them out of school for some time. Now, today, those pupils sit for the very first Matric exam. And senior reporter eNCA's Dasen Thathiah is in Durban for us to give us this very story. Dasen, good to have you and good morning to you, colleague. One can only imagine what the Matric pupils had to go through to lead to this point. But what can you tell us in terms of their state of readiness leading up to today's exam paper?
Ultimately, we are at Enaleni High School in Umlazi, and the reason we're here is because this is where two of the flood victims that we've been chatting to recently are going to be writing their first paper. That's English Paper 1. Now, you know that this is a particularly difficult time for all matrics. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. Many of them have put in lots of work to get to this point. But you can imagine how much harder it is for those that have been left homeless by the floods in KwaZulu-Natal. The two ladies that I'll be speaking to shortly will tell us their story, because they were moved from several places after they lost their informal homes here in April. It's not far from here. It's at the mega village. And they then stayed in the community hall. They at some point were in a bus outside the police station. And just yesterday we saw them at temporary accommodation that was given to them in Durban. But even there, I can tell you, the conditions were not conducive to studying. It's because in one room, for example, you have 5 people, you have babies, you have people living in cramped quarters. So it's been an incredibly difficult journey. I want to now bring in Dasen Thathiah and Nomvula Nzama. Nomvula, I'll come to you in a second. Dasen, let me start with you. Firstly, are you prepared, or are you as prepared as you can be for this paper?
Yes, ngi-prepared. Ngizamile ukufunda because bekumele vele ngifunde. But nginakho lokho kuba nervous lokho because khona izinto ekade ifunda ku-English engawazanga ukuthi ngiyifunde mina ngenxa yokuthi ama-floods asiphazamisile kakhulu, nanokuthi futhi besingahlala endaweni eyodwa. So khona nje la ngiphazamiseke khona nala engigeje khona engengisakwazi ukukhava. Ngizamile ukufunda but ngi-nervous.
And Nomvula, you were saying to me yesterday that you were disappointed because for the first time you didn't do that well in your third term. Have you been getting assistance from, for example, your teachers in trying to get you up to speed?
Angikwazanga njengoba namanje bengingenayo imali yokugibela lapha sihlala khona. Ngazama ukuze esikoleni kodwa angikwazanga ukukhava konke lonto leyo. Namanje futhi ngiyazama ukuba prepared for the exam lesizoyibhala kodwa kwezinye indawo angikwazanga ukukhava.
Nomvula, when all of this happened in April, how much of the school year did you miss, Dasen, when you were left homeless and you had to move? Was it weeks? Was it months?
I can tell ukuthi kube inyanga yonke, whole month, from mhla 11 April lo kwaba nama-floods ngawo kwaze kwawukuthi mhlawumbe siqala ngabo-May ukufunda because bekusamele umuntu akhave i-uniform, athenge i-uniform entsha since kwahamba konke iy'cathulo konke yabo. So nje ngingasho ukuthi kube inyanga yonke inyanga umuntu engakwazi ukuthi athende kahle esikoleni.
And lastly, Nomvula, tell me, why is it so important for you to do well in this exam? What are your dreams? What would you like to do when you finish Matric?
Engikufisayo mina ukuthi mengiqeda Matric ngibecome umuntu powerful, like ngenze civil engineering noma ibhola maker. Be proud of myself.
Well, I wish both of you all the best in your exams. I'm going to speak to you afterwards, and hopefully you'll be giving me good news and you'll be telling me that you did really well. Thank you so much. I'll let you get into class. Tumelo, they need to get into class now at about 8:30. They need to be seated, but we'll be catching up with them afterwards to find out exactly how that paper went. As I mentioned, and as they've told us as well, it's been particularly difficult. Where they're staying now, just to give you a sense of that, is in Durban Central. We are now in the south of Durban, so it takes more than 30 minutes or 40 minutes to get here. That's if you're traveling by a car, but they are using public transport to get here. So lots of factors that have been against them. Hopefully they have also managed to put in the work despite those circumstances and will do well today.
Yeah, indeed. I'm looking at the face of resilience as you're speaking to them. Dasen, one of them talking about how they've had to be out of school for a month, you know, and you can imagine the amount of work they've had to catch up with when they came back to school with all the challenges around them, and there they are, still hopeful and still working hard. We wish them the very best, and thank you so much, colleague, for bringing the story to the fore. Senior reporter Dasen Thathiah.